With that being said, our lead story of the day is regarding former President Donald Trump launching another attack on Florida Governor Ron DeSantis over his handling of the coronavirus pandemic. Now, to get it out of the way, folks, I voted for Trump twice. I will vote for him a third time. I am a Trump supporter. I am a Trump fan. I love the guy. He's the best president in modern history. But just because I love him, just because I support him, doesn't mean that he does everything correctly. There's going to be some things here that you might not like that I'm about to say, but it's still true. So he launches this attack on DeSantis, who has been widely praised by conservatives, moderates, and some liberals for the way that he responded to the pandemic as he battled against measures touted by Anthony Fauci. You, Senator, don't know what you are talking about. That Anthony Fauci. And refused to shut down his state's economy and public school system. More Americans moved to Florida during the pandemic than moved to any other state as a result of how the state handled the pandemic, meaning Ron DeSantis. Well, Trump began his statements Thursday evening with a long-winded sentence saying News Corp, which is Fox, the Wall Street Journal, and the no longer great New York Post, bring back coal, is all in Florida Governor Ron DeSantis as an average Republican governor with great public relations who didn't have to close up his state, but did, unlike other Republican governors, whose overall numbers for Republican were just average, middle of the pack, including COVID, and who has the advantage of sunshine, where people from badly run states up north would go no matter who the governor was, just like I did. Really? Again, I am a Trump supporter. What is he doing? Some people said last time, oh, well, he called him Ron DeSantis. They're friends. It's not a big deal. He is going after this man. And it's going to fracture the Republican Party. As I've said numerous times, this is not a good thing. He attacked Ron DeSantis before the midterms. I said, you can create a fracture. Independents are going to look at it and go, man, I'm getting memories of how Trump handled things before. Those that were wavering just went Democrat. Yeah, and he's attacking his own party right now before the midterms. What the heck? I'm going to go vote Democrat, or I'm not going to vote at all. If you look at the ones that Trump backed, they didn't do well in the elections. I'm not saying that's the result of us not having a red wave, but Trump's messaging is horrible right now, you guys. This can't happen. This is not a good thing. You are going to fracture the Republican Party based on Trump. A lot of conservatives, a lot of Republicans like Trump, but they also like Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis did a great job during the pandemic. This is bad. This is dumb. Trump's being a dum-dum right now. He doesn't need to be saying this stuff. And I know there's a lot of Ball Brad Show listeners that are big Trump fans. Again, I'm repeating myself. I am a Trump fan along with you. But just because we all love him doesn't mean that he does everything correctly. This is dumb. Trump continued by saying that DeSantis was desperate in 2017 and that DeSantis had low approval, bad polls, and no money. But he said that if I would endorse him, he could win. Well, so what? The guy's killing it now. Look at the way he swung Florida. Florida was kind of a reed in the wind as well. Kind of like what we see in Pennsylvania or hell, Georgia in reality, a swing state. Not anymore. They're freaking just glowing red. So I don't know what Trump's talking about. Quote, I also fixed this campaign, which had completely fallen apart, Trump continued. I was all in for Ron, and he beat Gillum, but after the race, when votes were being stolen by the corrupt election process in Broward County and Ron was going down 10,000 votes a day, along with now Senator Rick Scott, I sent the FBI and the U.S. attorneys, and the ballot theft immediately ended just prior to them running out of the votes necessary to win. I stopped his election from being stolen. This is another problem, you guys. He needs to stop this whole election fraud thing. He has to stop it. It's going to hurt us. Whether you believe it or not, it has to stop. If he continues this trend, I don't see him winning in 2024. I'm calling it now. For two reasons. Look at the way the Democrats have ran this country into the ground. Everything is bad. And they still came out and showed up in the voting. We didn't have the red wave that we thought we did. Meaning if this trend continues, regardless of how bad Joe Biden runs this place into the ground, Trump is going to make matters worse, and he's not going to win in 2024. I know people don't want to hear that. I'm going, oh, that's crazy. I'm calling it right now. If he continues doing this, we're donezo. Quote, and now Ron DeSantis is playing games, Trump concluded in his attack on DeSantis. The fake news asks him if he's going to run if President Trump runs, and he says, I'm only focused on governor's race. I'm not looking in the future. Well, in terms of the loyalty and class, that's really not the right answer. He's not doing any favors for himself. He's pissing off conservatives. He's not making Republicans happy, independents or liberals, or those that were actually probably going to swing Republican based on everything of of Joe Biden's done or Joe Biden's performance. It's not a good look, you guys. I know I'm repeating myself, but it's really not. Well, you had a bunch of people taking to Twitter and not happy about what Trump said. You have Anders Hagstrom. Intentional or not, DeSantis has stoked Trump from minor annoyance to frothing rage, all without speaking a single word against him. Jonathan Swain. Phone is blowing up. Even staunch Trump allies are cringing at this rant against DeSantis. It's not looking good. The average Republican governor, referring to a 45th president's statement as an approval rating of 64% and just won several deep Democratic counties on Tuesday. If this is a preview of his 2024 primary strategy, it will turn off far more voters than it will bring in. That's exactly what I just said. Especially what we just saw of a massive red wave that's supposed to happen that we didn't get. It was a splash. It was a trickle. And now he's doing this. You have Tim Pool. Trump crying about DeSantis right now on Truth Social makes him look weak as F. Haynes Mankel. For 6 years, we've been hearing how Comey, Mueller, Schiff, Vindman, Biden, Garland, etc. were going to take Trump down. In the end, he took himself down. I think it's a little bit early, but like I said, if he doesn't change his messaging, yeah, it's not going to look good for Trump. Because what's going to happen, you guys, it doesn't mean that people are going to vote for somebody else necessarily. They're just not going to vote at all for the top of the ticket. They'll vote down the ticket. They're just not going to vote for Trump. Like, yes, screw it. I'm just not going to vote Republican. That's the problem we're going to have here. We need the independents, you guys. He can't do this. Regardless of whether you and I care in reality, I don't personally care that he's attacking Ron DeSantis. I don't think it's a good look. I think Ron DeSantis is doing a great job. I don't agree with him. I personally don't care, but I do care about trying to gather more votes at the end of the day. And this is not going to do it. It's like what we said. It's like what we said under Hillary and Joe Biden. If he just shut his mouth, especially under Joe Biden, when he's going up against him, if Trump would have just shut his mouth, he would have been fine. He would have won if he just, but he can't do it. And I don't know why there's nobody around him that goes, shut up, Trump, stop doing it, stop talking, just can't do it. You have another person saying it's a stupid nickname and a stupid comment. And if this is how Trump wants to go, he's going to lose his primary. I just said that. Thank you. I haven't read any of these, by the way. It's just, these are other conservatives, Republicans, and other people just saying the same thing I am. But he's a big boy and he can do what he wants. Yes. I mean, Candace Owens talked to him just recently. This is kind of behind the scenes glimpse of what she was saying. And Trump is still bothered by what took place with the last election and is still bothered with election integrity, election fraud, and all that stuff. You can be bothered by it, but that can't be your messaging. That can't be what you continue to put out there. And she was trying to bring him back on, you need to let it go, man. Fix your messaging. And she said she's worried about who's advising him. And me too. Is somebody advising him correctly or incorrectly? Or is it just Trump just shooting and saying, hey, you know what? I'm just going to say whatever I want. He doesn't get that it's going to hurt him. He doesn't get it. DeSantis hasn't attacked Trump a single time. Trump's attacks on the governor just reek of insecurity. He can't stand being shown up by a younger man in the future of the Republican Party. If DeSantis were smart, he would reply with, I prefer candidates that win re-election, and leave it at that. I mean, you guys, it's tweet after tweet after tweet of people coming out and just shellacking Trump for what he did. I want to know what you think about this in the comments below, because I know we got a lot of Trump supporters here, including myself. For those that said, well, they're friends, it's not looking like that right now. You could be friends in terms of politics, going, you have the same agenda at the end of the day, you have the same goal, but this is not making friendships out of DeSantis. Boots on the ground are saying DeSantis is not going to run in 2024, so at the end of the day, it might not matter, but it still matters because you're going to have conservatives and Republicans that are going to, screw this guy now. I don't like Trump. I don't want to deal with him anymore. If that's he's going to talk bad about another Republican who's actually doing a good job, you just lost those votes. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.